In the middle of what was once the fourth largest inland body of water on Earth, the vast, shimmering expanse of the Aral Sea, lies a place that became one of the most secret and most dangerous locations in the entire Soviet Union. For decades, it was known only by a code name, Aralsk 7, and it was a place that literally didn't exist in any public map. This was Vozrozhdeniya Island, or Rebirth Island, and it was the clandestine heart of the Soviet biological weapons program, a living laboratory where some of the most deadly pathogens known to humankind, anthrax, plague, smallpox, Marburg virus, were weaponized and tested. But beneath the salt-encrusted, desolate landscape of Rebirth Island lies a history far more chilling and perplexing than any nuclear secret. A history of underground laboratories, classified in environmental engineering, and a level of scientific obsession that bordered on the apocalyptic, all set against the backdrop of one of the 20th century's greatest ecological disasters. Today we are exploring the profound mystery of the Rebirth Island, of the biological heart of the Cold War, and the toxic legacy it left behind. A legacy that continues to threaten global health and security, even decades after the fall of the Soviet Union. The birth of a biological fortress, the story of Rebirth Island and the Soviet Union's biological weapons program began in the mid-1930s, long before the Cold War truly intensified. The Soviet leadership under Joseph Stalin recognized the devastating potential of biological agents as a strategic weapon. They needed a location that was remote enough to ensure absolute secrecy, isolated from civilian populations to prevent accidental outbreaks, and far from the prying eyes of Western intelligence. Vozrozhdeniya Island, a large, uninhabited landmass in the middle of the Aral Sea, fit the criteria perfectly. Its isolation, surrounded by vast stretches of water, made it an ideal natural containment facility. Here, under the strictest secrecy, a massive clandestine infrastructure was built, dedicated to researching, developing, and testing biological weapons on an unprecedented scale. This was not merely a research facility, it was a factory of death, designed to produce pathogens in quantities capable of wiping out entire populations. A chilling testament to the Soviet Union's commitment to biological warfare. For the thousands of scientists, military personnel, and support staff who lived and worked on Rebirth Island, life was a strange and dangerous paradox. They were part of an elite, highly specialized class, provided with amenities far superior to those available to ordinary Soviet citizens. A deliberate strategy to attract and retain the nation's brightest minds for this morally ambiguous work. Yet they lived in a world of total isolation and absolute control. The island was a fortress, surrounded by multiple layers of barbed wire checkpoints and armed guards. Every movement was monitored, every communication scrutinized, and every word was potentially recorded. They were forbidden from ever leaving the island without special permission, and contact with the outside world was severely restricted, creating a unique, high-pressure society where the fate of biological warfare and potentially humanity rested on their shoulders. The psychological toll of working with such deadly agents, knowing their purpose, must have been immense. Yet the ideological fervor and scientific ambition often overshadowed ethical considerations, creating a moral vacuum where the unthinkable became routine. The unseen war, weaponizing disease, The scientific obsession at Rebirth Island was fueled by the relentless pursuit of biological superiority over the West. The Soviet Union was a signatory to the 1972 Biological Weapons Convention, which banned the development, production, and stockpiling of biological weapons. Yet, behind this public facade, the program at Aralsk 7 continued and even intensified, becoming the largest offensive biological weapons program in history. Scientists worked with some of the deadliest known diseases, weaponized strains of anthrax, smallpox, plague, tularemia, botulinum toxin, and even exotic viruses like Marburg and Ebola. They engineered new, more virulent, and antibiotic-resistant strains, developed sophisticated aerosol delivery systems, and tested their efficacy on thousands of laboratory animals, monkeys, sheep, dogs, and horses, in open-air experiments across the island. The goal was to create a silent, invisible killer that could bypass conventional defenses and achieve victory without nuclear escalation, a terrifying prospect that haunted the Cold War and pushed the boundaries of scientific ethics into a moral abyss. The sheer scale of these experiments, often conducted with a chilling disregard for safety, speaks volumes about the desperation and ruthlessness of the Cold War arms race. One of the most shocking and tragic incidents linked to these programs, though not directly on Rebirth Island, was the 1979 Sverdlovsk anthrax leak. A leak from a military microbiology facility in Sverdlovsk, now Yekaterinburg, released airborne anthrax spores, killing at least 66 people, though the true toll is believed to be much higher, possibly hundreds. The Soviet government initially blamed contaminated meat, maintaining the lie for years, until the truth emerged after the collapse of the USSR. This incident and the constant threat of accidental release from places like Rebirth Island underscored the immense risks not only to potential enemies, but also to the Soviet Union's own citizens and the very scientists working on these deadly projects. The ethical lines were not just blurred, they were obliterated in the pursuit of ultimate power, demonstrating a chilling disregard for human life, even their own, in the relentless pursuit of biological dominance. The Aral Sea disaster, a self-inflicted wound, but the mystery of Rebirth Island is compounded by another equally devastating human-made catastrophe, the shrinking of the Aral Sea itself. Beginning in the 1960s, massive Soviet irrigation projects diverted the Amu Darya and Serdarya rivers, the Aral Sea's main water sources, to cultivate cotton in the arid Central Asian republics. Over decades, the sea began to shrink dramatically, exposing vast swaths of its seabed. Vozrozhdeniya Island, once surrounded by water, gradually became connected to the mainland by a land bridge in 2001. This ecological disaster had unforeseen and terrifying consequences for the biological weapons facility. As the island became a peninsula, the natural containment barrier was breached, raising fears that deadly pathogens, some still viable, could be carried by winds or animals to populated areas, potentially triggering a global pandemic. The very land that once protected the secret now threatened to unleash its horrors upon the world, a cruel irony of environmental hubris. After the collapse of the Soviet Union in 1991, the biological weapons program at Aralsk 7 was abandoned in haste. The facilities were dismantled, but not fully decontaminated. Laboratories were left to decay, equipment was buried, and containers of deadly pathogens were simply dumped into shallow pits. The site became a ghost town, a toxic wasteland where the wind carried salt dust, and potentially viable spores of anthrax and other agents across the exposed seabed. The international community, particularly the United States, became acutely aware of the danger posed by this abandoned facility. In 2002, a joint US-Uzbek project was launched to decontaminate the largest known anthrax burial sites on the island, a massive undertaking that cost millions of dollars and took months to complete. However, many experts believe that significant amounts of pathogens remain buried or scattered across the vast, desolate landscape, a ticking biological time bomb, waiting for the right conditions to reemerge and potentially unleash a new plague upon the world. The philosophical abyss of forbidden science, the philosophical undercurrents at Rebirth Island, though less overtly articulated than cosmism in the space program, were equally profound and disturbing. The pursuit of biological weapons represented the ultimate dark mirror to the quest for immortality, the power not to extend life, but to extinguish it on a mass scale, to wield the very forces of nature as a weapon. It was the ultimate expression of the totalitarian control, the ability to dictate life and death at a microscopic level, to engineer plagues. The scientists involved, often brilliant and dedicated, operated within a moral vacuum, driven by nationalistic fervor and the perceived existential threat from the West, blurring the lines between scientific advancement and ethical catastrophe. The very name Rebirth Island became a cruel irony, as it was a place of death and environmental devastation, not new life, a monument to humanity's hubris and its capacity for self-destruction. It forced humanity to confront the terrifying question: what are the limits of scientific ambition when unchecked by moral compass? Just imagine what else we've lost. If one secret island, hidden from the world for decades, could contain a record of such terrifying scientific achievement, profound ethical breaches, and immense human suffering, how many other impossible projects, how many other hidden laboratories and clandestine endeavors were concealed in the vastness of the Soviet Union. We are looking at a world where the people of the past, driven by both political ideology and a desperate desire for military supremacy, push the boundaries of science into realms that should have remained forbidden. Rebirth Island stands as a chilling testament to the dual nature of human ambition, capable of both incredible innovation and unimaginable destruction, often driven by forces we barely understand, and whose consequences continue to unfold across generations. It serves as a stark reminder that the pursuit of power at any cost can lead to unforeseen and catastrophic outcomes, a dark chapter in the annals of human history, the enduring legacy of invisible warfare. The debate over Rebirth Island, particularly the full extent of its biological weapons program and the long-term environmental and health consequences, is a perfect example of the forbidden archaeology struggle. Though applied to recent history, it is a clash between the established academic and historical narratives, which often prefer to focus on the purely political and military aspects of the Cold War, and independent researchers who are willing to look at anomalies, challenge the status quo, and explore the less conventional, often hidden ethical and scientific transgressions that shaped these monumental endeavors. If the Soviet biological weapons program was indeed as extensive and morally compromised as some evidence suggests, it means that our understanding of the past is fundamentally flawed, that the lines between scientific research and weapons development were far blurrier than official history suggests. It means that we are still grappling with the toxic legacy of a hidden war, fought with invisible enemies whose effects continue to unfold decades later. A stark warning from the past about the dangers of unchecked scientific ambition and the long shadow of forbidden knowledge. As we look at the salt-encrusted, desolate landscape, the rusting ships stranded in the former seabed, and the abandoned, decaying laboratories of Rebirth Island today, we are looking at more than just the relics of a bygone era. We are looking at a mirror of our own vulnerability, a monument to the human capacity for both scientific brilliance and profound moral failure. It is a testament to the fact that the pursuit of power, unchecked by ethics, can lead to the creation of horrors that haunt generations. Rebirth Island, the biological heart of the Cold War's darkest secrets, remains a powerful symbol of humanity's enduring struggle with the ethics of science, and a place where forbidden knowledge was unleashed, promising to change your perception of humanity forever, and reminding us that some secrets, once unleashed, can never truly be contained. The chilling reality of this place forces us to confront the uncomfortable truth that the most dangerous weapons are often those we cannot see. In our next episode, we're going to look at a mystery that is even more ancient and equally perplexing, found in the heart of the Middle East. A discovery that features massive megalithic stones, some weighing over 1,000 tons, perfectly cut and fitted into a platform that defies modern engineering capabilities. Structures that some say are natural, but others believe are the undeniable ruins of a civilization that vanished before the dawn of time. Join us as we explore the secrets of Baalbek and the impossible stones they might reveal. The truth is waiting, and it's carved in stone, a testament to a lost technology that challenges our understanding of ancient construction. If you want to see the declassified documents, the chilling satellite imagery of these abandoned bioweapons facilities, the harrowing accounts of the Sverdlovsk, Anthrax leak, and the detailed historical analyses that connect the Soviet biological program to its devastating consequences, make sure you check out the full series playlist. We are uncovering a history that was buried for a reason, a past that refuses to stay hidden. Don't let it stay hidden. The truth is rising. And it's a chilling reminder of the invisible wars that shaped our world, promising to change your perception of humanity forever